Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy. It's my pleasure. It's my honor as usual to be greeting you and all, bring this message of emancipation to you, pointing you to look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity. And this was taught to Neville Goddard by his mentor, Abdullah, the black mystic from Ethiopia. And that is why I want to speak to you concerning how Abdullah taught Neville to discover the land of opportunity, where he will also discover the pearl of great price. And I decide to speak on the topic of it's between your two ears. Now, where I'm living here, it's known as a third world country, and Neville Goddard would have grown up in these parts also in the Caribbean. I'm living just 100 miles west of Barbados, which is like 30 to 35 minutes ride by plane. So you see, we are very close. Okay, for all the Caribbean islands are very close. And Neville grew up and being taught to believe in secular Christianity, and also that education is the key in life, because that's the kind of belief system that we have in these parts. And so many people in these parts, they would speak against people who are like, say, Muslim, and who would practice things like what they refer to as jihad, and they would not understand how can someone, put bomb on themselves and blow themselves up and so on. They can't understand that, because that is not what was taught to them from a little child to impress upon their subconscious mind. Okay, and I'm just using that as an example, okay, because I do not have anything against anyone and their belief, but I'm just trying to get a point across. But we from little children been taught to believe in a God in the sky, to believe in a man 2,000 years ago named Jesus. And when we look at the complexion of our skin, the idol or the picture of the Jesus doesn't even look like us also. So right there, they're teaching you not to believe in yourself, because when you look in the mirror, you're supposed to see the reflection of yourself, and they're telling you that your real self is supposed to be Jesus, and Jesus is a savior, and Jesus is your healer. So all of that is a part of the third world mentality. And that is why they're known as third world countries, because the people are thinking in a way that is superstitious, and most of them have poverty mentality, because they believe that it's through education that they would have all the opportunities in life. But that is not the case when we come to understand that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. That the Bible is not literal, neither is it secular history, and it has no reference to anyone who existed thousands of years ago, to any actual event that would have taken place on the earth thousands of years ago. When you understand that from the beginning to the ending of the Bible, it's a great psychological drama, and it all have to do with the human psyche, then you will understand the law of mentalism and understand how you must be in control of your mind. So in these countries, as I would have said before, that I refer to third world countries, they always look to places like America, England, Canada, and those other bigger countries as the lands of opportunity, and that they must travel to those places to have opportunity. But little do they know that they're still traveling with the same kind of mentality. Okay, that's why many of them end up flipping burgers and so on at McDonald's and so on. I'm just using that terminology because I've heard many people use that terminology. I'm not saying that certain work is more important than other work, okay? Everyone must play a part, but you have a choice, okay? As I always say, somebody have to sweep the floor, somebody have to clean the gutter, but it doesn't have to be you if you know better. So yes, let me get on to what I really want to bring across to you. So they believe that the land of opportunity is some geographical location. And I would have done a little survey in my country where I go around and ask a lot of people, where is the land of opportunity and so on. And everybody will say either America, they will either say Canada, they will either say England. It's always a mentality of some geographical place, and fail to realize that the land of opportunity is right between their two ears. And Abdullah taught Neville Goddard this by teaching him what the Bible really means when it says that you must discover the pearl of great price, which is the land of opportunity. All Nightingale call it your field of diamond. Okay, and it's right between your two ears. Because my brother and my sisters, until you realize that everything is energy, vibration, and frequency, you will not come to realize that it is your own thoughts that is creating your reality, and that you can create your reality consciously. So when Abdullah told Neville Goddard that it was his own thought that is producing his personality, Neville would later learn that a change of mind is a change of destiny. And so Neville had his destiny in his hand, but he didn't really know it. All he knew is that he had this burning desire to travel to Barbados, and he had no money, he had no work, and it seems impossible for him. Nevertheless, because he was studying with Abdullah for 5 years, and he see Abdullah as his mentor, he said to Abdullah, he said, Ab, you know, I've been having this changes feeling for a very long time now. This burning desire has come upon me to want to travel to Barbados to be with my family and to spend the holiday with them there, because it was coming close to December, and you know, I'm feeling the desire to spend the December time, which is around Christmas time, with my family. And Abdullah said to Neville, you have already gone to Barbados. As a matter of fact, you have gone to Barbados first class. And so Neville find that this was very strange of him saying that he have already gone to Barbados, and he know that he's physically existing and walking in New York. So Abdullah told Neville that right now it's a Great Depression time. It's 1929. It started 1929 right up to 1939, and this was 1933. Okay, though Abdullah didn't say it in words like I am saying it here, but this is what he was saying. Catch it. You believe, and many others believe, that America is the land of opportunity. But here there are many who are committing suicide because of the Great Depression, and there are many who just cannot find opportunity right here in what's supposed to be known as the land of opportunity. And that is why there are still people in America who's living in dirt poor poverty, which means the land of opportunity is not really a geographical place. But in America, many people have come to the understanding of how the mind works and how to use the mind, and it's a great mass of land. So many great minds and great thinkers end up there and use their mind. But the land of opportunity remains still the same place, which is between your two ears. So whether you live in what they call a third world country, or you live in a developing country, or you live in a first world country, it all have to do with your mentality, because your thoughts will travel with you wherever you go, because that's your disciples. You are the 13th one, and the disciples are following you wherever you go, because a disciple is a follower, and what follow you wherever you go? It is your own thoughts that will follow you wherever you go. So the 12 disciples represent the 12 powers of man, the 12 qualities, 12 discipline. Also, an angel is a messenger, and what bring message to you and from you? It is your own thoughts that bring message to you and from you. So it doesn't matter where you travel, okay? Unless you have a change of mind, you won't have a change of destiny. Okay, that's why there are many people who had millions and millions of dollars that end up in bankruptcy, because they never really had a true change of thinking. Okay, so yes, as I was saying, so Abdullah, when he told Neville to imagine himself in his mother's home in Barbados while he was residing in New York, and to also imagine himself walking the streets of Barbados while he walked the streets of New York. He was teaching him where to discover the land of opportunity. He was pointing him to look to that place right between his two ears. And that's the place I've been pointing you to look all these times I'm doing these videos, to discover the land of opportunity, to discover the pearl of great price. It is written in the Bible as a riddle or as a parable, and the entire Bible is riddles, parables. Okay? So my brothers and my sisters, doesn't matter where you're living, unless you have a change of mind, things will not change in your life. So it wasn't until Neville was willing to put what Abdullah would have told him to work that Neville would have reaped the benefit. For he received a letter under his door with $50, and $50 in 1933 was a lot of money to make a trip. And in those days, they were traveling by boat. And when Neville went to the shipping company, he was told that there was only space enough for him to travel third class. But Abdullah would have none of that third class conversation. And that's why I would encourage you never to have none of those third class conversations. So when your friends, your relatives come around you and they want to bring that mentality of lack and limitation, you run them away from around you. Okay? That is why you have to be careful of attachment, because attachment is the root of our suffering. So Abdullah will have none of it, and he slammed the door in Neville's face. You have to slam the door of self-doubt and fear, and put the devil under your feet, because the devil is your self-doubt. And when you do that, you live in authority. So when Abdullah refused to listen to Neville and turned his back on Neville, that was a message to every one of us, how to conquer our self-doubt. And so when Neville got his ticket on the particular day he was actually going to board the ship, he was told that they have good news for him, and that he was going to travel first class. And he did travel first class. And Abdullah told Neville, when you would have taken this trip, you'll do many things that you would have never done before. You would drink, you would smoke, you would sex, you would do all of these things. Because why? It's liberty. It come to understand the law of liberty, and come to understand that true salvation is self-realization, because you're searching to discover yourself. Because all of us in this world, we were born in a state of amnesia, which is a state of forgetfulness. That's why none of us can remember anything when we were 1 year old, which is like, say, 9 months. Though they give us 12 months, and some people really believe in this 12 months bullshit and say they're celebrating birthday every 12 months when they were actually 9 months in the womb. Okay, 9 months you can't remember anything. 10, 12 months you can't remember anything. Even up to 24 months you can't remember anything. Most of us remember anything from, say, 5 years or 4.5 years. First time they carried to school. You see, it was a strange place they carried for the brainwash. We was crying. Most of us crying when they carried those places. It's a prison. Okay? Because it is sabotaging our imagination from knowing our true self. It is sabotaging us from the true land of opportunity. But Abdullah taught Neville Goddard how to discover the land of opportunity. And that is why many people in my country cannot see opportunities in their own country where they're born and grow up. They cannot see opportunity. And many foreigners are coming and find opportunity in this country. And that is why if you go in the city, 95 or more percent, I shouldn't say 95, but 99% of the businesses are owned by people outside of this country, and even outside of this race, as in, if you believe in race, okay, do we know there's only one human race? But you know what I'm coming to, what I'm getting to when I say that, because for example, in these parts you find most of the people who own the businesses are like the Syrians, Chinese, and so on. And even like I've been to Jamaica, I think, once, okay? But a lot of the businesses in Jamaica are owned by Chinese. But you don't go in a Chinese community and see black people own all the business. So you understand what I'm saying? So you could go in a black community and see other people own all of the businesses, but you don't go in these other people community and see black people own the businesses. So it's time for people to wake up. So Abdullah was doing all of this to help to wake us up. And he did it with Neville, because the people of his complexion wasn't even ready for the message at that time. And because Abdullah knew where to discover the land of opportunity and use it to the best of his ability, he could have gone to the opera, and Neville didn't have to buy his ticket for him, and he would sit in the center. And though all of the building was saying Negroes not allowed and so on, that had nothing to do with Abdullah, because Abdullah knows it's all illusion. We live in an illusionary world. All of us have the same power, but you have to learn to use your power to achieve your every desire. And that is why, my brother and my sisters, when I made these kind of videos, You know, I'm really fired up to know our school system still teaching the children to believe in this Jesus bullshit. And I grew up with it. My mother grew up with it. My grandmother grew up with it. My great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, grandfather. Same damn programming. And it's time for us to break that damn programming and look to the land of opportunity by looking inwardly and realize that it is our own damn thoughts that's creating our reality, and we can create our reality consciously. For our brain is a transmitter and a receiver of frequency. You see, I'm speaking all of these things with so much passion because I know what was my experience when I awake. So let me get into that right now as I come to a close. But let me say this to you. If this message been helping you in any way, I just want to remind you that I have uploaded my march, my Abdullah and Neville Goddard march, and we want to keep the legacy of Abdullah and Neville Goddard going. So check the link down below and support this work. We have mugs, we have bags, we have t-shirts and so on, sweaters and so on, you know. Okay, so you check out the link and support this work, and let us take the legacy of Abdullah and Neville Goddard to another level. So with that being said, my brother, my sister, if this is the very first time that you're listening to me and what I'm saying really resonating with you and helping you, I would like to say, if you haven't subscribed already, to subscribe, to comment, to like, or to share this video. But before I leave you, I just want to remind you that this message that I bring to you, that it is the single eye message of self-realization, of which Matthew 6:22 says that if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. And my brother and my sisters, hadn't it been that my whole body was filled with light when a single eye awakes within me and I change from mortal to immortality in a twinkling of an eye. And all of this would have taken place after I would have experienced the great earthquake, the great mighty shaking. And then I would have heard the unearthly wind, which is that mighty rushing wind spoken of in Acts chapter 2. And then I ascend like a fiery being and came out of my skull. That's what it means when you say tongues of cloven fire over your head. It's parables, it's riddles, okay? And then when that happened to me, there was the birth, okay, the birth from above. And that is why I always say to you, my brother, my sister, this experience will teach you that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N, and that it is the dawning of a new day in your life. For the Bible is the sun book. And my brother and my sisters, the sun, as in the S-U-N, parallels the human imagination, and the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun, there is no life and there is no light. And without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. And you're told in Psalms 84:11 that the Lord thy God is a sun and a shield, and no good thing will he withhold from you. And truly, common sense will teach you the sun has never withhold any good thing from humanity. For the sun is what powers all of humanity and gives all of humanity its energy. That is why also it is stated in Malachi chapter 4 and verses 2 that the sun, as in the S-U-N, of righteousness shall arise in you, not outside of you, in you, with healing in his wings. That's why I'm bringing healing to you, what I've come to discover through righteousness. For righteousness is not something you attain, it is something that you discover about your own self. And that's why I'm bringing healing to each and every one, pointing you to look inwardly and saying to you to use your mind power, which is your solar power, your sun power, your God power, your creative power, which is actually the sexual power. Use that power to achieve your every desire. For that was the message that was taught to Neville Goddard by our ancestor Abdullah, the black mystic from Ethiopia. So go and discover your land of opportunity and live a life of contentment and prosperity. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.